Welcome back. This is episode 5 of the Easel series, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Pro version in this segment, and maybe expand a little bit on some of the things that we've done in the past episodes. So let's start by signing in as we usually do. We'll go up to the top and type in Inventables again and get started. And here we are. Okay. All right. In lesson 4, we did talk about a little bit about centering the object for cutting purposes, and we'll expand on that a little bit in this episode. Starting on this screen, what we're going to do this time is create a picture frame. This may sound a little crazy, but sometimes you'll want to have a figure of some sort in the center and put a picture frame around it. Now, it's not a true picture frame because you're making it out of one piece of wood, but we can do it with this program. First we do is open up a shape, and in my case the width of our object is going to be 1/4 of an inch, 0.25, and the height is going to be 6. That's the size of my frame. All right, now in order to get our 45 degrees at the corners, I'm going to move to the edit mode. See, the edit points down here. And I'm going to grab this point right on the edge here. There it is. And we're going to move it down. And you can see where it down here there's a screen that pops up. And I'm going to set Y, which was at 7, to 1/4 inch less, 6.75. I'm going to go down and grab my lower corner. And now Y is 1. Now I'm going to make Y equal to 1.25. And now I have a mitered corner on my slot here. So let's change this to a cut on shape, and we can see visibly that this looks very much like a mitered piece of wood. Now, in order to make the rest of them, I'm just going to simply copy this one. You can do edit copy, and then edit paste. We'll take this one that was made, and we'll move it over. Oh, I'm having trouble grabbing it there. Come on. There we go. And we're going to move it over to 6, and Y would equal 1. Now we're going to take this, now that we moved it over there, and we're going to turn it 180 degrees. And it flips over, and now we have a second one here. All right, now we're going to take and copy this one, or copy the original one. And this time we're only going to turn it 90 degrees. Oh, let me do my copy first. This time I'm going to use Control-C and Control-V, which are the window copy commands. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. And I'm going to grab it and bring it down to the bottom here. Okay, Y would equal 1, and X would equal 1. That's the corner of my object here. Now, this one, I originally said we set it at 6. I should have said 7. It's 6 plus we're offset by 1 inch. Huh. I moved that a little bit when I was checking it. It's not 7 inches. Look what I've done here. It's 6.75 inches because we're looking at the left side of the object. And now we have it lined up. All right, now I'm going to take this one and copy it and paste it. Edit, paste. And we're going to take this guy and move it up over here, out of the way. And we're going to turn him 270 degrees. And that makes him the opposite of this guy. And the top is going to be at 7 inches. However, the top of the lower side of this object is 6.75 inches. So let me click on that. And we'll set Y to 6.75. And X continues to be 1. It looks like I've moved this inadvertently when I was clicking on it. So I'll fix that. That's 1, 1. Now he's fixed up. This one's off a little bit, I can see. Yeah, right here, see it? This happens when you are copying and pasting. Sometimes you'll move the object without realizing it. So just go back and check it. That's why it's always best to select numbers that are easy to remember when you're doing something like this. All right, now we have a picture frame. But it really doesn't look good on the wood. So what we want to do is fill it with something. So we're going to go back to our applications. First, I'm going to click on one of the segments here. We'll go back to our apps. And if you recall, we had one that we looked at before called texture. This time I'm going to select, I think, the same texture we did last time. It's called morphing diamonds. There you go. And I just kind of like the way it looks when you cut with it. And I'm going to import that. I'm not going to have to change everything here. We texture depth. Notice it's 0.5. That's too much. We're going to go 0.5. All right. No, we're going to go, yeah, 0.05 will work. All right, let's go with that. We'll import it, and now it's here. It has appeared inside our frame. We're going to continue to do this for the rest of them. So let's go to our apps. Do it again for the rest of them. Texture. Morphing diamonds. Depth is 0.05. I'm going to import. And you could actually set the depth once it's already imported. You don't have to do it in the app, which well, in this case I have done it, but this time I'll skip on that. Let's see, and we'll do it on the. Here's morphing diamonds again. And this time I won't change the texture depth. I'll just import it. And you know it's quite a bit darker. But I can just click on that and change my cut depth here if I wish to 0.05. And you get the same result. All right. So let's bring that last one in. Morphing diamonds. This time I'll change the depth in the app, 0.05, and I'll import it. All right, now we have a picture frame. Now over on the right, you can't see anything at all because the bit size is 1/8, and you need a smaller bit in order to create these this surface here. So let's change the bit size to something smaller, a 16th perhaps. Still not seeing it there. Let's make the depth a little bigger. Maybe that would help. This time we're going to make the depth 0.5. 1 for all of them. Still nothing there. Let's go to our 32nd in bit. Now we see it. So we really need kind of a fine bit to actually do this. In reality, what you should use here is a V-bit. And the V-bits are only available in the Pro version. Let's take a look at the other bits that are available here. If you notice on the bottom, it says V-bits, and then next to it is Pro. Carving requires the use of Easel Pro to carve with a V-bit. So if we put the 60-degree bit in there, let's see what happens. We still get a nice image here, but look at this. It says Pro Carve, which means we can't carve it with our current version of the software. Let's do a simulate. That's simulating the toolpath. And you notice there's a lot going on here, a lot of movement and a lot of cutting. But let's just look at some important things here. And that is this little triple dot here contains some other information. You can turn the wasteboard off. Turn the material board off. You can turn the toolpath off. And there's usually one more here. That's why I'm pausing. It's maybe because I'm using a V-bit. I'm going to go back and put the other bit in there. Let's see what comes up here. Uncut areas. That's what I was looking for. There were no uncut areas using the V-bit. With a V-bit, of course, you can go very narrow, so you wouldn't have any uncut areas. But I wanted to show the uncut areas, so I'm going to simulate. Again, with that bit, I'm going to turn the toolpaths off this time. So the toolpaths are gone, but I'm going to show the uncut areas. And they'll show as little red spots. A little hard to see here, but there are some red points in here. And those are not going to be cut with the 32nd inch bit. And the only reason it came up with uncut areas is because there were some uncut areas. If I change the bit back to a V-bit, a 60-degree V-bit, all right, notice that the show hide only shows that. If I simulate with that now, the toolpath icon comes up here. I could turn the toolpath off, and if we were to go real close and take a look at it, we'd see that there are no red marks because we are cutting the entire thing. One other thing to notice here is that this cut would take 22 minutes with the V-bit. Let's go back with the 32nd bit and simulate again. And this would take 24 minutes. So it's a little faster, but we're missing some detail, which is probably why it's faster. So let's shut this off and look at, we can see a lot of red marks all around there. Go back, put our V-bit in. Simulate again. Now we can turn the toolpaths off, and you'll notice there are no red marks there anywhere. All right. So let's bring our toolpath back to 0, and we'll play it slowly. You notice we're coming from the corner. We're doing our work up there, and we're going to work our way around the board. I'm going to make this a little faster so we don't have to wait for it. You can see it's pretty busy up there doing all these cuts. And again, it looks like 22 minutes to finish. I'll bring it down towards the end here. Now it's finished. So what else could we do with this? Well, we have a picture frame. I guess we ought to have a picture. Let's go back, close this out. we'll go back over here, and it looks like it's spread out on me here. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's just a visualization problem here. No, it did actually change something here. I've lost some detail in the corners. Oh, okay. My depth is wrong. Let's go back to this. We have a 32nd inch bit. Or we're using a 60-degree V-bit, that's why. Okay. Let's go back to the correct bit. Now it comes up correctly. All right. Yeah, we were using the wrong bit there. So it was missing some detail, and it was set to 0 with that bit. All right, so we're back to where we were. But what's a picture frame without a picture? So let's import image trace. So we're going to upload an image. And this image is actually a JPG file, which is a picture. It's nothing more than a picture. It's not a structured, or excuse me, a scalable vector graphics file. It's just a plain old picture. So we're going to bring in that same Sun City logo, but now we're bringing it in as a picture. There it appears. Very nice detail here. I'm going to import it. And there it is. We're going to make it a little smaller so it fits in our picture frame. Then we're going to move it inside the picture frame. Okay. Now, looking over here, there's some pretty, I don't know, some of the detail looks all right, but down here, this doesn't look very good. So the 32nd bit at this size probably doesn't work very well. Let's change our bit again. It's always fun to keep fooling around with these bits and see what you have. So now we got a 60-degree V bit. We're going to check, and we're going to make sure we're going to change the height of this globally to 0.1. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. So there is no, we've gotten all the material. There are no areas that are not going to be carved. You can see that from this screen here. It would have said, it would have brought up that uncut areas if it had any. So let's simulate it. We show the tool pass, shut that off, and you see there are no red marks, so we don't have any uncut areas. But look how much time it's going to take. It's going to take about 35 minutes to do this. But we do have a fairly nice picture here. I think this will come out very nicely. I do notice that when we use the V-bit, we lose some definition in the corners here. I'm not quite sure why that is happening, but it is happening for sure. I'll turn our tool pass back on. We'll bring the detail back down a little bit. Okay. Anyway, there we are with the V-bit. Oh, cut. There it is. Our cut size keeps changing. I'm not sure why that is. So we have to be careful of that. Change to 0.05. That's why we were missing some detail in the corner. We had no cut width, no cut depth, excuse me. Let me simulate again. Okay, super. This time it came out the way we expected it to. Tool paths are good. There are no red marks, so we're cutting everything. We have our logo, we have a picture frame, everything looks pretty good. And we have we're going to cut it. It's going to be about a 6x6 inch object. Now, one other thing we can do, now that we have that there, we're running a little long here, but this won't take too long. We're going to add another shape here. And this will be, size-wise, it's going to be 6x6. We're going to cut outside the path. Okay, so now we're on the outside. And look what we have here now. When I close it, I'm going to cut all the way through. It's 1/2 inch board. I'm going to cut it all the way through. Notice we have tabs that appear when we cut all the way through. See these tabs? I'll click off of this. We'll go turn the simulator on. That looks like it won't take a while. Have to be patient, I guess. And there it is. All right. Now, not only do we have a picture with a frame, we are also cutting that picture out of our piece of wood. Let me make sure this is still set properly. Yes, it's cutting all the way through. All right. So we're cutting all the way through. We're using a V-bit, so that's why this is so wide here. Okay. Normally, if we cut through, I would use a 32nd bit, perhaps. Let's go back and do it with a 32nd bit. And we'll lose a little detail in here. You can see the red marks. We lose a little detail, but we do cut a more reasonable path on the outside. So how do we solve this problem between using a V-bit and using a straight bit where we have this wide cutout here? Well, the way to do that is to do it twice.